Hey guys, Jenny from Greenlight here doing a brief run through on the My Disney Experience app. So if you are new to Disney, the first thing you're going to want to do is download My Disney Experience, looks like this, with the big 50 for the 50th anniversary, and create an account. So that's something that everyone on the trip can do, whether they're an adult or a minor. Basically, all you have to do is put an email and a password, and you'll have a My Disney Experience account. Even without your ticket number from the Greenlight office, this will allow you to make dining reservations for lunch and dinner if you want to do a sit-down restaurant. And that really is all you're able to do ahead of time these days with Disney. So the first thing you want to do, and you might have more pop-ups if you've never used the app before, this central button is a nice shortcut for a lot of things. If you want to make dining reservations, you can check dining availability here. Make sure you put in the right park that you want to make dinner reservations for, or lunch reservations. Order food, which we'll get to mobile ordering in just a second. And at the very bottom, you'll see View My Genie Day and Tip Board. So this is one way you can get to that. Another way is to go to this little hamburger menu all the way to the right-hand side. So instead of Fast Passes these days, Disney has Genie Plus, and that is broken down into a couple different categories. So My Disney Genie is a free service. If you go to Tip Board, My Day, Disney Genie is just a free service to help you plan your day. It's completely free. If you do get started, it'll ask you a bunch of questions like, are you interested in thrill rides? Are you interested in shopping? Do you want a sit-down dinner? All that good stuff. And at the end, it will give you an itinerary that you don't need to stick to it, but if you're new to the parks, it gives you kind of an order of things that you can do. If you X out of that, so Fast Pass wise, everything is paid now. There are no free Fast Passes. You've got Disney Genie Plus and individual lightning lanes. So Disney Genie Plus, if you go to Tip Board, Disney Genie Plus is $15 a day per person. You can start at 7 a.m. whether you're staying on property or staying off property for Disney. And it basically is the lower tier rides. So any of these you see in here, Astro Orbiter, Barnstormer, you pay $15 and you can book one at a time. And there's no guarantee what time you're going to get that in. For example, if you want to do Big Thunder Mountain, when you log in at 7, you may be able to get one at 9:30 after the park opens, or it might be 4 p.m. So this is one issue we've been having, that people who pay the $15 per day, because it is $15 every day, you have to make it in the morning every day. There's no way to pre-purchase or pre-book Disney Genie Plus for the entire trip. They've been kind of upset because they'll pay the $15 and depending on how crowded it is, their first reservation might start at 2 p.m. when the park opens at 9. And like I said, you can only book one at a time. So in the interim, they're having to wait in lines. So especially if you only have a half day at the park, a lot of people are feeling like it's not worth it to pay the extra $15. It's better to just wait in lines. On top of that, I know they're still figuring out their system, but we have noticed that the Disney Genie Plus lines don't tend to be that much shorter. I had one client who got into a Disney Genie Plus line for an attraction and they still ended up waiting an hour once they got in that line. So this is a new service, and as a company, we're still kind of navigating around all of the changes. So I always tell my group, because you buy for each day, I would try it the first day without buying anything, just stand in lines as normal and then see how that goes, and then you still have the opportunity to buy it the next day. On top of that, like I said, these are the lower tier rides for the $15 per person per day. They have made some of the more popular rides individual lightning lanes. So I'm not in Orlando right now. Let's see if it will let me find any of these. They do tend to book up pretty early. So I know for Magic Kingdom, Space Mountain and the Mine Train are the two individual lightning lane rides. So this basically means that outside of the Disney Genie Plus for $15 a day, the ones that tend to have the longest waits, for example, in Animal Kingdom, Pandora, and Rise of the Resistance at Star Wars at Hollywood Studios. Those are the most popular rides that, if you're waiting in line, can be up to 3 hours. So instead of paying $15 and getting the lower tier ones, they've made it so that you can pay just for those rides. And that is called individual lightning lane, and you would see it written beside the ride, which I do not see, which means it may be sold out right now. So you don't have to buy the $15 one for lower tier to get the individual lightning lanes. That's something you can just purchase. For example, if you wanted to go to Animal Kingdom and just wait in line for all the other rides, but you wanted that shortcut to Pandora, then you can just buy the individual lightning lane pass for that. And these prices vary depending on demand. So sometimes it might be $7, and I've seen it go all the way up to $21 for Space Mountain. So in that case, it's just really like, what is it worth to you to not wait in line or to go on this ride? It is worth noting that unlike Disney Genie Plus, this one has a different time that you can enter the pot. So if you're staying on property, you can still do the individual lightning lanes at 7 a.m. And for example, I know Rise of Resistance at Hollywood Studios tends to sell out at like 7:05 or 7:10. But if you're staying off property, then you can only book those individual lightning lanes when the park opens. And it has been my experience that you need to be in the vicinity of the park. Maybe not necessarily like foot on property, but I had trouble with my app not working when we were driving there. So that is the introduction to the Fast Passes. The other part of this that Disney has been having issues with is that if you are under 18 years old, you are not allowed to make any online purchases. So you would have to go through an adult to get Disney Genie Plus. So when they started making this policy, we assumed that would mean chaperones could just buy it for their whole group, and then the group could reimburse the chaperone. It's proved to be a little more complicated than that. That is the official line on how minors can get Disney Genie Plus. There is another element saying that the minor's ticket has to be linked to an adult, but that is very tricky because if you try to link tickets and then you scan into the park, then you essentially can't undo them, and it's invalidated a lot of tickets and caused a lot of issues. Not a green light group, but I know that a group of 150 accidentally invalidated their tickets and had to stay in customer relations for hours to get into the park. So it's something that we're treading very lightly on. So this is what Disney has been telling us to do. And it's not a bad idea anyways, even if you don't want to do Disney Genie Plus, to go ahead and make a friends and family group, because if you have dining reservations or anything like that, this means that your whole group can make them together. So what you're going to do if you want to create a family and friends group for your chaperone, you're going to scroll down to my profile, and all the students, or anyone that's not the chaperone in the group, is going to scroll down and say, show my linking code. So this way your whole group can just hold up this code, and then the chaperone can go to the family and friends list, add a guest, scan their linking code. So you guys can actually go around and just go boom, 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 scan all of the students' codes, and that should put all of them in your family and friends group. So that way, if you then wanted to make a dining reservation, you can make it for everyone in your group. You guys don't have to get on the app and try to make it at the same time. Theoretically, this is how you would also be able to buy Disney Genie Plus or individual lightning lanes for your entire group. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I would be prepared, just to avoid disappointment. If you're really gunning for that Rise of Resistance and something happens, some technical issue, there's a possibility that it might sell out while you're trying to get it fixed, because guest relations is really the only one that can fix these types of things on the app. And they fully admit that they're having issues with it and they don't know exactly why. But yeah, we just basically say, try the first day without it, if possible, kind of see how the lines are, and then make your family and friends group. And that way, if you decide to do it the next day, it'll be a little less stressful. So, other things on the app that you're going to want to see: tickets and passes. You definitely don't have to do this. We always give you a paper ticket. but you can link your ticket by scanning the code or putting it in, and that way you'll have it on there for Disney Genie Plus. You can do Disney Magic Mobile. Again, totally optional. You don't have to do this because we give you the physical card, but if for whatever reason you want to put it on your phone, this is how you would add it with that little plus sign. You add it to your Apple Wallet, and then you can use your phone to scan into the park instead of digging out the physical ticket. And let's see what else is relevant on here. Park hours and info, always relevant because they do change slightly, but your tour director should keep you on top of that as well. And then one of the most important things, mobile food ordering. So Disney's really leaned into this. Universal has it as well, but they work slightly differently. So for Disney, you would go to create an order, and then you pick a window. And this is kind of cool. You can do it, you know, when you're ready to eat lunch, or if you just really want to make sure, say you've got like a Lightning Lane or Disney Genie Plus, make sure you eat at a specific time. You can do it when the park opens. Say it's like 9 a.m. and you want to book lunch for noon. That's one of the busier times. So you could just, you know, book for the future. So you pick your window. Let's say we want to do Columbia Harbor House, one of my favorites. It's a little healthier. You would just scroll through the menu. Say we want their special for the 50th, their Sea Captain Catch. Add it. You'll see it populate in your cart right here. You can change the order by modifying, review order summary. And ideally, everyone in your group should be doing this by yourself. It's just easier for everyone to have the app and do it themselves. And then you're going to go to checkout. So most of our groups have been getting either Disney gift cards or Disney dining cards. This is where you would redeem it. Payment methods, Disney gift card. Click add a card. Disney gift card or dining card, and you'll have to scratch or peel off the little sticker on the back, put in the 16-digit code, and then it should tell you your balance. So one thing about the Disney dining cards, it's a little tedious. You can't put 2 in at the same time. You have to put 1. So let's say you've got 2 dining cards with $5 on them and your lunch is $17. You can only apply on the app one of the cards, because you can't apply 2. So you would then have to put a credit card or a debit card in here to finish out the payment, which is problematic if you're a minor, because again, you can't buy anything on the app if you're not 18. So in this case, it's not a big deal. You might just have to wait a little bit longer if you're trying to use up remnants of cards, or you want to buy something and you're out of cards. You would have to go and actually pay in person. And of course, you can pay with credit cards in person or cash. You just can't do it through the app. So after that, it gives you an approximate time when your food's going to be ready, and it'll ask you if you are physically present at the restaurant. And from that point, I would say it probably takes like 5 to 10 minutes. So if you're anywhere in the vicinity, go ahead and press yes, I'm here, and that way you'll get your food sooner. Probably shouldn't do that and tell them, but I do it all the time and it usually works out. Just gotta hoof it over if you're a little bit farther than you think. And one more thing that's cool, I use the search function a lot. So if you're looking for a specific food or restaurant, you can search in here, or of course attraction. But sometimes, especially if you're new to Disney, you don't know which restaurants are on property. So you wanna see your options. If you go to this map icon, it is defaulted on the wait times, as it should be. This is why we're all here. But if you go up to the top and you push that little arrow down, it has all these options, and it is so helpful. Guest services, it'll show you where first aid is, and restrooms, always a good one. But dining, I find especially helpful, because then you can zoom out and show list, and it shows you all of your options. So this is a list of all the restaurants at Disney. What you want to do is go to filter. Let's say you're going to Magic Kingdom that first day, and you want to filter just the restaurants in Magic Kingdom. So this is what you would get. And it shows you, via $, what's fancy. Walk-up lists and reservations, and the orange, those are your sit-down restaurants. So let's just say I went Casey's Corner. You can see it has mobile order. And this is kind of cool because you don't have to commit to ordering, which is what you immediately go to if you press the mobile food order. You go to the menu, you can see the price, you can see descriptions before you make your choice. And of course, if you just want to see what's around you, you can go back to the map and just zoom in if you really need to eat, like right now. So I hope